Subscribe now and stay with me till the end, because today we are talking about a small coin that carries a surprisingly big story. And at the very end of this video, I will reveal its current value. So don't skip a second. Today's focus is the South Africa 1986 5-cent coin. At first glance, it looks simple, even ordinary. Many people have held this coin in their hands without giving it a second thought. It may have passed through shops, pockets, drawers, and old wallets. But coins like this are more than loose change. They are silent witnesses to history, economy, and everyday life, especially for those of us who remember how money felt different back then. This coin speaks directly to a generation that values solidity, memory, and meaning. The year 1986 was not an easy time in South Africa. The country was going through political pressure, economic strain, and global attention. Inflation was a real concern, and the cost of producing coins mattered more than ever. That is why the 5-cent coin of this period reflects a shift, not just in design, but in mindset. Governments do not change coins without reason. When you hold this coin, you are holding a response to economic reality. This 5-cent coin was designed to be practical and durable. Earlier coins were often made with higher value metals, but by the mid-1980s, that was no longer sustainable. The 1986 5-cent coin represents efficiency and survival. It was made to circulate widely, to be strong, and to last through years of use. And many of them did. That is why they still turn up today in collections, old tins, and inherited belongings. The design of the coin reflects stability and identity. South African coins of this era were created to show national pride without excess. The imagery is clean, recognizable, and purposeful. For collectors, this matters. A coin does not need to be flashy to be important. Sometimes, restraint and clarity make it more powerful. Older collectors especially understand this. They know that value is not always loud. Men over 55 often connect deeply with coins like this because they remember using them. This was not an abstract collectible when it was minted. It bought bread, sweets, newspapers, and daily necessities. It lived in real pockets, not display cases. That lived experience adds emotional weight. When you look at this coin today, you may remember the sound it made on a counter or the feel of it in your palm. That connection cannot be manufactured. Another important factor is mintage. Coins made for circulation are often produced in large numbers, but survival is a different story. Over time, coins are lost, damaged, melted, or discarded. Finding a 1986 5-cent coin in clean, well-preserved condition is far less common today than it once was. Condition plays a major role in how collectors view this coin. Sharp details, minimal wear, and original surface quality can dramatically change its desirability. Collectors also pay attention to transitional periods, and 1986 falls right into one. This was a time when South Africa was adjusting materials and production methods. Coins from transition years often become more interesting over time because they mark a clear before and after moment. They are physical evidence of change. For serious collectors, that historical context adds depth and long-term appeal. This coin is also popular among collectors who focus on complete date runs. Completing a full set of 5-cent coins from a specific era is challenging, and the 1986 issue is a key part of that puzzle. Without it, a collection feels incomplete. That demand keeps interest alive, especially among seasoned collectors who appreciate patience and precision. What makes this coin especially attractive to mature collectors is that it does not rely on hype. Its strength is quiet and steady. It rewards knowledge rather than impulse. People who have spent decades collecting, or who are just now revisiting old hobbies in retirement, often gravitate toward coins like this. It feels honest. It feels earned. There is also the nostalgia factor, which cannot be ignored. Coins trigger memories in a way few objects can. They are touched, exchanged, and used. They pass through generations. Many men discover coins like this while sorting through old belongings or estates. That moment of rediscovery often sparks curiosity, and curiosity leads to collecting. Over the years, Interest in South African coins from the 1980s has grown steadily. As time moves on, fewer examples remain in strong condition. Collectors who understand this tend to act early. They know that overlooked coins are often the ones that surprise people later. History has shown this again and again. The 1986 5-cent coin may be small, but its story is solid. It represents resilience, adaptation, and everyday life during a challenging period. It appeals to collectors who value substance over speculation. It is a coin that rewards those who take the time to understand it. Now, as promised, let's talk about value. Based on current collector interest and market demand, the South Africa 1986 5-cent coin carries a value of $14.70. Before we begin, make sure you subscribe to this channel right now, because what you are about to hear is not just about a gold coin. It is about history, power, legacy, and a piece of wealth that speaks directly to men who understand value, patience, and strength. Today, I want you to imagine holding something heavy in your hand. Not just heavy in weight, but heavy with meaning. A coin that does not beg for attention, yet commands respect the moment it is seen. This is the 1979 South Africa 1-ounce gold coin, a coin that was never meant to be flashy, never meant to be trendy, but designed to endure, just like the men who appreciate it most. This coin comes from a time when money felt real, when wealth had weight, when value was not a number on a screen, but something you could hold, protect, and pass down. In 1979, the world was facing uncertainty. Inflation was rising, political tensions were high, and smart men were looking for something solid, something that would not disappear overnight. Gold was that answer, and South Africa was at the center of the gold world. South Africa was not just another producer of gold. It was the powerhouse. Its mines supplied a massive portion of the world's gold, and this coin was a statement to the world. It said that gold is not just metal, it is authority. It is stability. It is independence from fragile systems. The 1979 1-ounce gold coin was struck with precision and purpose. 1 full troy ounce of pure gold, not diluted by unnecessary promises. This was not a commemorative trinket. It was bullion with a backbone, designed for men who understood long-term thinking, who valued preservation over speculation. The design itself tells a story without shouting. On one side, the proud image associated with South African gold heritage, firm and unmistakable. On the other, a symbol of movement, strength, and survival. There is no wasted space, no distractions. Everything about this coin is intentional. When you look at it, you do not see a trend. You see discipline. You see a country asserting its role in global wealth. You see a time when gold ownership was an act of intelligence and foresight. Men over 55 understand this better than anyone. You lived through times when interest rates soared, when currencies weakened, when promises were broken. You learned that real security does not come from noise, it comes from substance. This coin represents that lesson perfectly. The year 1979 matters. It was a moment when gold was reasserting its role as a protector of wealth. Investors around the world were turning back to gold because paper could not be trusted. This coin was part of that movement. It was minted not to celebrate a moment, but to answer a need. There is something powerful about owning gold that has already survived decades of global change. This coin has seen economic cycles rise and fall. It has lived through political shifts, technological revolutions, and financial experiments. And through it all, it remained what it always was, 1 ounce of gold. That is the beauty of it. No updates required. No maintenance. No dependency. Just value. For collectors, this coin holds a special place. Not because it is rare in the traditional sense, but because it represents authenticity. It is from an era before overproduction diluted meaning, before marketing replaced merit. Holding this coin is like shaking hands with history. For investors, it offers something even deeper: trust. Gold from this period carries credibility. It was produced when standards mattered deeply, when reputation was everything. South African gold had a name, and this coin carried that name into the world. The weight of the coin is reassuring. 1 ounce may not sound like much until you feel it. Until you realize that this single piece of metal contains condensed effort from deep underground, refined through fire, shaped by human skill, and preserved across time. This is not a coin you flip casually. It is a coin you respect. You store it carefully. You show it selectively. It is not about showing off. It is about knowing what you have. Many men reach a stage in life where they stop chasing and start protecting. They stop looking for excitement and start valuing certainty. This coin speaks directly to that mindset. It does not promise overnight gains. It promises endurance that it is also a legacy piece, something that can be passed down with a story. You can tell your son or grandson that this coin comes from a time when gold meant safety, that you chose something real, something lasting, that you understood value beyond numbers. There is also pride in ownership, not loud pride, but quiet confidence, knowing that regardless of what happens in markets, politics, or technology, this coin remains valuable. It does not rely on trust in others. It relies on gold itself. Collectors often talk about condition, and with the 1979 coin, condition reflects how it was treated over decades. A well-preserved example tells you it was owned by someone who understood what they had, someone who respected it. The surface of the coin reflects light differently than modern pieces. There is a warmth to older gold, a character that comes only with time. It feels seasoned, experienced, proven. This coin is also a reminder of independence. Gold ownership has always been about control. Control over your wealth, your future, your decisions. This coin represents that philosophy in physical form. Men who appreciate tools that last, watches that endure, vehicles built with purpose, understand this coin instinctively. It belongs in that category of things made right, not made fast. Even the simplicity of the coin adds to its power. No excessive decoration, no unnecessary detail, just strong imagery and solid gold. It does not try to impress, it simply exists with authority. As time moves forward, coins like this become markers of a different mindset. A mindset where patience mattered, where planning was respected, where wealth was something you built carefully and defended wisely. Owning a 1979 South Africa 1 ounce gold coin is not about nostalgia. It is about alignment with principles that never go out of style. Strength, stability, independence, legacy. This coin has survived over 4 decades without losing its purpose. That alone should command respect. It has outlived countless financial products, trends, and promises. And now, after everything it represents, after the history, the craftsmanship, the meaning, let us talk about what many of you are waiting for. The current value of the 1979 South Africa 1 ounce gold coin is $86,000. Before we begin, make sure to subscribe to this channel. Your support helps us bring more rare coin stories, hidden histories, and surprising values from the world of numismatics. Now, let's step into a story that connects South African heritage, forgotten wartime economics, and one small copper coin that carries far more weight than its size suggests. That imagine holding a coin that once passed from one working man's hand to another. A coin so small, so ordinary, that millions overlooked it. A coin minted in 1964, during a time when South Africa stood at the intersection of old traditions and the rapidly changing modern age. Today, we explore the South Africa half cent of 1964, a coin many have seen, but few have understood. Picture the world of 1964. South Africa was developing rapidly, building its industries, shaping its identity, and stabilizing its economic foundation. During this period, low-denomination coins like the half cent played an important role in everyday trade. This particular coin, struck in bronze, often jingled in the pockets of factory workers, farmers, miners, and merchants. It circulated in markets, shops, bus stations, and countryside stores. It wasn't simply currency, it was part of daily life. Now consider the design. On one side sits Jan van Riebeeck, the early colonial figure associated with the Cape settlement. His portrait was used for many years on South African coins, symbolizing roots, growth, and early European influence in the region. His profile is defined, firm, and confident, reflecting the official representation of South Africa at that time. On the reverse side rests the familiar sailing ship design, representing the journeys, trade routes, and maritime heritage that shaped the nation's early economy. Each detail is sharp, intentional, and steeped in symbolism. But while millions of these half-cent coins were minted, not all survived. Many were lost, melted, or damaged. Time is never gentle on small copper coins. Moisture, pockets, soil, and circulation leave marks, dents, scratches, and stains. Only a tiny fraction remain in exceptional condition. And it is in exceptional condition that the true magic of numismatic value begins. For men in their 50s and 60s, this coin isn't just a collectible. It's connected to a time you remember. Perhaps you held one as a child. Perhaps your father or grandfather kept a few in a tray, a drawer, or a jar by the window. Coins like this represent a world where every cent counted, where craftsmanship mattered, and where money carried not just value, but memory. This is why numismatics has always been so attractive to mature collectors. Each piece is a doorway. Each piece is a preserved moment. But what makes a 1964 South Africa half-center stand out today? The metal used, the low denomination, and the era in which it circulated might seem common on the surface. Yet rarity in the coin world is never just about the number minted. It is about how many survive in pristine condition. Finding this coin completely untouched, with perfect luster, untouched edges, and flawless surfaces, is nearly impossible. Even pulling one from a mint set rarely guarantees perfection. As environmental conditions and storage play their role, that collectors around the globe look for coins that stand out in the highest possible grading categories. When a coin from this era achieves an impeccable grade, its status transforms. It shifts from an ordinary bronze coin into a historical treasure. And that is where demand begins to rise. Let us step deeper into the experience. Imagine a collector in his early 60s. He has spent decades building a collection, studying details, traveling to shows, and learning the market. One day, before him lies a 1964 half-cent unlike any he has ever seen. He studies the rim, the fields, the portrait, the reverse. He places it under magnification and expects flaws, but none appear. It is as though time missed this coin entirely. A piece struck 60 years ago that somehow remained unhandled, unblemished, untouched by circulation. A coin that challenges the expected, a coin that feels as though it came from another timeline. Now picture the reactions when a coin like this appears at auction. Collectors lean forward. Dealers take notes. Experts whisper. They know what they are looking at. Not just rarity, but impossibility. Not just history, but survival against all odds. This is how bidding wars begin. This is how prices climb beyond what anyone expects. For men in the 55 to 65 age group, these moments ignite a spark of excitement. You know the value of craftsmanship. You know the meaning of history. And you understand that sometimes the smallest things carry the greatest stories. Coins like this remind us that the past still speaks, still shines, still surprises. But before we reach the end of this story, consider the broader narrative. The world changes. Economies rise and fall. Technology replaces traditions. But coins endure. They are metal time capsules. They can outlive empires, governments, and generations. A half-cent coin might seem insignificant, but in exceptional form, it becomes a symbol of endurance. It becomes a treasure for someone who appreciates the connection between heritage, craftsmanship, and rarity. And now we come to the final moment, the part you have been waiting for. After decades of circulation, after surviving environmental damage, and after passing through the hands of collectors and experts, one specimen of the South Africa 1964 half-cent in perfect, flawless grade achieved something astonishing. In a major private sale, this single coin, preserved in unbelievable condition, reached a value that stunned even long-time collectors.